Someone performed voodoo at your door last night and shockingly, that which was your. Open it immediately. Listen, my child. Be still, and let your breath settle, for what you are about to receive is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. I am the one who speaks in the quiet between your thoughts, the one who watches when the world sleeps, the one who knows what stood near your door, not the door of wood or iron, but the doorway of your spirit. You sensed it, even if you could not name it. A pressure. A question. A feeling that something unseen had passed close to your life. I allowed you to feel that stirring so you would pay attention now. You heard the word voodoo and your heart reacted. Because humans fear what they do not understand. But I tell you this in truth, nothing touched you that I did not permit to pass by. No force entered without my knowledge. What stood at your door was not power over you, but a message for you. And the shock you feel is not because of danger, but because of recognition. When I say that which was your, I am not speaking of a person as the world defines them. I am speaking of influence. I am speaking of proximity. I am speaking of something familiar that has been shaping you quietly, wearing a face you trust. Do not rush to look outward. Do not accuse. Do not tremble. This revelation is not to turn your heart against anyone, but to turn your eyes toward truth. The word you fear is only a symbol. What stood at your door was a pattern, a habit, a voice you have listened to for too long. It learned your rhythms. It learned your doubts. It learned the moments when you feel tired, overlooked, or uncertain. And yes, it came close, close enough for you to notice, but not close enough to claim you. I am speaking now because it is time for you to open something, but not a physical door. When I say, open it immediately, I am calling you to open your awareness. Open your understanding. Open your heart to the light that reveals without condemning. Many live their entire lives reacting to shadows, never realizing the real work is to turn toward the source of light. You are not being warned because you are weak. You are being warned because you are ready. You wonder why this message carries suspense, why it feels like a mystery unfolding. It is because growth always feels like standing at a threshold. You are between who you have been and who you are becoming. The mind resists this moment. The soul recognizes it. That is why your spirit leaned forward when you read these words. That is why something in you whispered, "This is for me." I do not speak randomly. I speak intentionally, and I speak personally. Let me tell you something that may surprise you. Not everything that feels dark is evil, and not everything that feels comfortable is good. Discernment is the gift I am awakening in you now. The witch you were warned about is not a monster in the night, but a subtle influence that dressed itself in familiarity. It could be a belief that tells you you are small. It could be a voice that rushes you into comparison. It could be a pattern that keeps you distracted when you are meant to be focused. It could even be a version of yourself that no longer serves the future I am inviting you into. Do not be ashamed. Every human wrestles with unseen influences. The difference is that now, you are becoming aware. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. I am not exposing this to scare you, but to show you that nothing hidden can remain hidden when light is invited in. And you, my child, have invited me in more than you realize, through your questions, through your seeking, through the quiet moments when you wonder if there is more. Hear me clearly, you are protected. You are guided. You are not alone in this unfolding. What stood at your door did not come to harm you, but to reveal what must be addressed. I allowed the symbol so you would pay attention, because gentle whispers had gone unnoticed. Now I speak with clarity. Not urgency born of fear, but urgency born of timing. This is your moment to choose awareness over avoidance. When I say open it, I am asking you to open the part of you that has been closed out of self-protection. Open the part that has been guarded by routine and distraction. Open the place where you have stored unanswered questions. I do not force entry. I wait to be invited. And now, I am knocking through this message, through these words, through the resonance you feel in your chest as you read. Do not look for drama. Look for truth. Do not expect thunder. Expect clarity. Revelation rarely arrives shouting, it arrives aligning. As you open yourself to understanding, you will begin to see patterns differently. Conversations will sound different. Choices will feel clearer. You will recognize when something draws you toward peace and when something pulls you away from it. This is not magic. This is wisdom awakening. You may be wondering, why now? Because you are standing at a turning point. The next season of your life requires a sharper awareness than the last. Old ways of thinking cannot carry you forward. Old influences cannot guide you where you are going. I am gently, firmly asking you to release what has overstayed its purpose. Not with anger. Not with fear. But with understanding. Remember this. Nothing has power over you unless you agree with it. Influence only lasts as long as it remains unseen. The moment you recognize it, its grip loosens. That is why this message feels intense. Intensity is the sound of awakening. But peace will follow, if you continue listening. I am not revealing the truth to overwhelm you, but to prepare you, as you continue reading. Notice what thoughts arise. Notice what feels affirmed and what feels challenged. That is where the real conversation is happening. I am not distant. I am present in your reflection, in your curiosity, in your willingness to stay with this message instead of turning away. Many would scroll past. You did not. That choice matters. Do not rush to the end, because this is not a story, it is a process. The mystery unfolds layer by layer, not all at once. You are meant to walk this revelation, not consume it quickly. Stay attentive, stay grounded. Stay open. There is more I am about to show you, more clarity waiting just beyond this moment, more understanding about who that influence really was. Why it came so close, and what changes when you finally see it for what it is, my child, because you have leaned in rather than stepped back. That choice opens pathways you cannot yet see. Stay with me. Let the noise of fear fall away, because fear clouds vision, and what I am offering you is sight. Not the kind that looks outward, but the kind that looks through appearances, through habits, through stories you have repeated without questioning where they came from. You have been taught to believe that danger always announces itself loudly. But truth often arrives quietly. The influence I spoke of did not shout. It whispered. It blended into your routines. It sat beside you in moments of rest and spoke in the tone of familiarity. That is why it felt shocking when I named it. Shock is what happens when awareness interrupts autopilot. You were not asleep, you were simply moving forward without looking sideways. Now you are looking. I want you to understand something deeply. Revelation is not accusation. I am not pointing a finger, I am turning on a light. The moment light enters a room, shadows rearrange themselves. They do not fight, they simply lose definition. That is what is happening within you now. The questions rising in your heart are not signs of danger, they are signs of growth. You are beginning to sense where your energy has been leaking, where your attention has been divided, where your peace has been negotiated away little by little. When I said the influence was I paused on purpose. Because the word you expect is not the word I mean. Humans rush to label, to assign blame, to name an external enemy. But the deeper truth is more subtle and more empowering. What stood at your door was connected to you by familiarity, not by fate. It learned you because you allowed it proximity. And proximity does not mean presence alone, it means permission. Permission can be given unconsciously. Every time you ignore an inner warning. Every time you silence your intuition for convenience. Every time you accept less clarity than you deserve. These moments do not make you wrong, they make you human. But now you are becoming conscious of them. Consciousness is the doorway to change. That is why I asked you to open it immediately, not because time is running out, but because timing is aligning. You may notice now that certain thoughts feel repetitive, looping, unproductive. You may notice that some conversations drain you more than they nourish you. You may notice that certain environments leave you restless rather than restored. This is not coincidence. This is discernment awakening. And discernment is one of my greatest gifts to those who are ready to carry more responsibility over their own inner world. I am not asking you to reject the world. I am asking you to refine how you engage with it. You do not need to fight influences. You need to outgrow them. Growth is the quietest form of victory. When you no longer resonate with something, it loses access. That is the spiritual truth many overlook while searching for dramatic solutions. Your power has never been in resistance, it has always been in alignment. Listen carefully now. The door I spoke of is also the boundary of your identity. What you allow to define you, speak for you, decide for you. For a long time, you have allowed external voices to name your limits. Some of those voices sounded caring. Some sounded logical. Some sounded like your own. But not every thought you think originates from truth. Wisdom is learning to pause and ask, does this lead me toward peace or away from it? I see the weight you have been carrying quietly. Expectations. Comparisons. The pressure to be certain when you are still becoming. None of these are punishments, they are invitations to deepen trust. I have not asked you to have everything figured out. I have asked you to stay honest. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what excites you. Honest about where you feel pulled in two directions. That honesty is the key you are holding right now. As you open this inner door, you may feel resistance. That resistance is not failure, it is a sign that something old is loosening. Patterns do not release without protest. But you do not need to argue with them. Simply observe. Simply choose differently when awareness gives you the option. Small choices accumulate into transformation. Quiet decisions reshape entire futures. I want to speak now about protection, because many misunderstand it. Protection is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of clarity within challenge. You are protected not because nothing approaches you, but because nothing approaches you without revealing itself when the time is right. I reveal what you are ready to see. And today, you are ready to see more than you were yesterday. Do not look back with regret. Regret keeps you anchored to what has already taught you its lesson. Look forward with curiosity. Curiosity invites learning. Learning invites wisdom. Wisdom invites peace. This is the progression I am guiding you through. Step by step, breath by breath. You are not behind. You are on time. You may feel the urge now to reevaluate certain connections, not necessarily to cut them off, but to redefine how much access they have to your inner world. This is healthy. Boundaries are not walls, They are doors you learn to open and close with intention. You are allowed to protect your peace without explaining yourself to everyone. Silence can be sacred when it is chosen consciously. As this message continues to unfold, more understanding will surface. Not all at once. Revelation comes in waves, not floods. Each wave clears a little more debris, a little more confusion, making space for something steadier to take root. Trust this rhythm. Do not rush it. Rushing belongs to fear, patience belongs to faith. I am still here, speaking, guiding, watching how you respond internally, not with judgment, but with care. What matters most is not how dramatic this message sounds, but how gently it reshapes the way you see yourself afterward. You are not a target. You are a participant in your own awakening. An awakening is not loud, it is lucid. Stay present. Stay open. Do not close this door again once you have opened it. There is more clarity waiting, more truth unfolding, more connection deepening as you continue to listen, because this revelation is not finished, and I am not finished speaking in now. My child, as this message comes toward its completion, I want you to feel how different the space around you is compared to when you began reading. Nothing external may have changed, yet something within you has shifted. That shift is awareness settling into place. It is the quiet confidence that comes when confusion loosens its grip and understanding steps forward. This is how transformation truly happens, not with noise, but with knowing. I want you to remember this: you were never in danger of being overtaken. You were only standing at the edge of discernment, waiting to recognize your own authority. The influence that came close did so because you were growing. Growth attracts attention, not because you are vulnerable, but because you are becoming visible to yourself. When awareness expands, old patterns attempt to linger. They knock softly, hoping to be let back in. But now you know how to recognize the knock. You no longer need to fear what approaches your door, because you understand that you choose what enters. Choice is one of the greatest gifts I placed within you. Not the kind of choice that demands perfection, but the kind that allows learning. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you listen before agreeing, every time you choose peace over habit, you strengthen that gift. You are learning to live deliberately rather than automatically. I want you to trust the clarity you are developing. You may not have words for it yet, but you feel it. A sense of alignment. A steadiness that does not depend on approval. This is the foundation of wisdom. Wisdom does not rush to explain itself. It observes, integrates, and responds when the moment is right. You are stepping into that rhythm now. Do not expect life to suddenly become effortless. Ease is not the absence of effort, it is the absence of inner conflict. Challenges will still come, but they will meet a calmer mind and a more grounded heart. You will notice that what once unsettled you now invites reflection instead of reaction. This is not because the world changed, but because you did. I also want you to release the need to identify everything immediately. Mystery is not an enemy. Mystery is a space where trust grows. Some truths reveal themselves only after patience has prepared the heart to receive them. Allow yourself to not know everything at once. You are not behind for asking questions. You are brave for staying present with them. As you move forward from this message, carry this awareness gently. Do not turn it into tension. Awareness should feel like light, not pressure. Let it inform your choices without burdening them. Let it guide your attention without controlling it. Balance is found not in extremes, but in attentiveness. If ever you feel uncertain again, return to this understanding. You are not powerless, you are perceptive. You are not surrounded by threats, you are surrounded by opportunities to choose wisely. You are not being tested to fail, but invited to grow. Every step you take with intention reinforces this truth. I have spoken to you in symbols because symbols reach deeper than instructions. They bypass resistance and speak directly to insight. What you take from this message will continue to unfold long after these words end. That is how true revelation works. It keeps working quietly, reshaping perspective, long after the moment passes. Now the door is open, not to fear, but to clarity. Not to suspicion, but to discernment. Not to anxiety, but to trust. And because you have opened it consciously, you will know when to close it again with peace. Remember, you are guided, you are aware, and you are capable of choosing what aligns with your highest good. Walk forward with steadiness. Listen inwardly. Honor the light of understanding that has been placed within you. Amen.